So I want to talk about something that I've learned through the years of being in business or working on my business, having my startup, and also comparing that to the years that I put into my self development and my authentic expression. Because my main goal is to express myself authentically and to do it in a way that can impact people at a very high level. And it started first as me wanting to become the highest version of myself, and something that I found a lot of joy in was was attraction between men and women, attraction mainly between me and women, and trying to see how I can express myself in a way that really showed my sauce, really showed people, really showed the girls that I was into how expressive I was, how authentic I was, while also having my own swag, while also being cool, while also having a way of being that could not be seen anywhere else, really. So I wanted to be confident in my game, but have my game be my authentic game. Me not try to imitate what other people were doing, because when I started getting into the space of dating, I was looking at a lot of pickup videos, and I'll get to how this ties into business right now because it's going to tie in really quick. I would look into pickup a lot, and I started looking into pickup lines, things that would work, so that I could get the girl. And I played the game for a while, and I got some results, and I realized that what people really cared about wasn't so much the pickup lines themselves. They weren't really the tactics. It wasn't about the tactics, and I realized that I didn't want to be like those guys. I realized that I didn't just want to get laid. I wanted to create a meaningful relationship, find a meaningful relationship. So after incorporating the strategies, using them, having them work out, I realized that the main thing that made them work was really me, was really my authenticity, my willingness to put myself out there, and that's what at first I recognized that was something that attracted women. They found it attractive that I was a person that went for what he wanted. He would present himself even though he was nervous as fuck and talk to them. Complete stranger, beautiful woman, I'd do it, and I didn't care, And for some time I was by myself. I was reading books. I was looking at YouTube videos. I was looking into blogs, and I was just all by myself. I would hit up my friends, see if they'd be down to do some pickup with me. It never really happened. It was all me. This was at the time where I was going to school at ASU, and so eventually I realized it was just about me being myself, and then that slowly kind of translated into me learning how to dance authentically, and also me picking up girls when I was social dancing. And it wasn't so much about the pickup anymore. It was more about me connecting with somebody and really exploring how I express myself depending on the person I was interacting with. I enjoyed the interaction because it was more than just about getting the girl. It became about learning more about myself. It became about self discovery. Who was I when a beautiful woman walked in? And how could I bring the highest version of myself into this situation where I felt like free, where there's this high stakes situation, there's this beautiful woman that I want to talk to, and how can I play the game, but in a way that was my own game? I wasn't playing the woman's game, I wasn't playing the game of pickup, I was playing my game, which was really the expression of my truest self, right? So that meant me coming in and improvising, me coming in, going in, going in raw, no script, just going in and doing it, doing the thing. Sometimes I'd get wrecked, other times it was a blast and it turned out amazing. And sometimes, I would just get the number and never hit the person up just because I enjoyed the process. So, how did I get to this point of copying the technique, copying or trying to imitate what people were doing, to being out there and only following my heart, doing it by myself? I got to this point it really had to do with a lot of self-development, a lot of self-reflection, but me realizing that it was never about the technique. It was never about what other people were doing. And it also wasn't about the reward. It wasn't about the goal, me getting the girl. It became about me learning more about myself. And me discovering new versions of myself that kind of evolved the process of pickup in a way. And it evolved the process. I got to a very deep understanding of what women wanted, and I was able to use that to my advantage because I could understand what a woman wanted, and then I could understand what I wanted. And so then it made this really great thing where I could express myself authentically and see if this person was the right person for me, and then move along much faster. And that eventually led me to my wife, who I'm now married to, and I got to where I wanted to, right? Fast forward now, I'm in business. I've been working on my YouTube channel for years, and I've been struggling. I've been struggling with the with trying to create content and trying to fit everything into this one framework that I have seen, or multiple frameworks that I've seen from me watching and learning about business. I learned about sales, I learned about marketing, I learned about branding. I looked into people like what's his name? Well, I looked into people like Alex Hormozy. I looked into the guy from The Future. His YouTube channel is The Future. I looked into Dan Coe. I looked into just all different kinds of like big figures in the space, and I took a lot of their advice. You know, they presented a lot of different frameworks. They gave a lot of advice, and it was so hard trying to create a business following these frameworks because I realized that the motivation behind these people was more important for me to pay attention to. Because if you look at a person's results and you only want to follow what they do because of the results, you're missing out on a big chunk of those results, which was the belief systems of the person, the values of the person. So right away, like, I realized that different people have different values, and if you listen long enough, you'll understand where they're coming from and what they want. Like, I was listening to this dude, the guy who sells houses, who started flipping houses. It was like, I think his name's like Ryan something, Ryan Pineda. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast of his, and he sounded so egotistical. All he talked about was how to make more money. It was all about the profit, all about the money. And I realized I'm gonna take the information, but I know that this information is coming from a guy who doesn't really give a fuck about the people who he's serving. This isn't information for me to serve people. This is more information for me to learn how to navigate the business world, right? And so when I realized that that's what I was consuming, I had to slow down and reflect. And now that I think about the process that I have with that I had with relationships, with dating, at the end of it, the process is first study the technique, study the structure, study what's out there, take the advice, implement it, and then once you have implemented it, you master it after time, and once you master it, you transcend it. The process is information, implementation, mastery, transcendence, right? And when you can do that, transcendence means knowing how to use the technique in a way that is authentic to you. So I have been studying business for years. I've gotten into over $30,000 of debt studying business, whether it be through courses, whether it be books, whether it be videos, whatever. I've been doing it for over 3 to 5 years now. And being here where I'm at, I realized that I can make money, right? Like I've been able to make some money, like a few $100, under $500 off online stuff. But when I did make the money, it didn't feel right because it wasn't what I truly wanted. It wasn't coming from the system that I really wanted to create. And now that I'm here, I understand what I want to create. I understand that I've understood exactly what I'm looking to create. And I realized that I can now give myself permission to create a business model that is authentic to me. It's going to be something completely different than what's out there, but it's going to work because I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the intention, and I'm using some of the techniques that I've learned from the past, and I'm applying it intelligently. To transcend means to know what each thing serves and knowing how to use it for your own goals. So I have that thing of technique, but now what's enhancing it is going to be this aspect of myself, which is my soul, which is my divine gift, my creative expression. So when I input that into this, it just gets amplified. And you have something completely different, completely novel, something that's yours. And it clicked when I remember I was listening to this podcast and they said that you don't have to replicate a business model that's out there. You can have your own business model and you can do business your own way and it can work. You just have to trust that it will. You just have to know that it will. And when I heard that, I realized this is what I've been needing to hear. I needed somebody to say it. And nobody says it online. You know, nobody's going to tell you do it the way you need that you think is right, because a lot of people don't know themselves. But when you master the technique, when you do the studying, when you put in the work, when you implement it, you put yourself out there, as I did with dating and pickup, you'll get to a rhythm that you'll realize that you don't have to live constrained by the rules. You don't have to constrain your business model or your life by a certain system, by a certain structure. In truth, as human beings, we are meant to destroy. We are meant to destroy what was to bring something better. And I think Danco is probably the best example of this because he was able to make millions as a one-person business. And I think that just changed the whole game. Somebody that actually has succeeded in making that much money and doing it in such a way that is revolutionary. And I'm deriving a lot of inspiration from him because I was trying to fit what I'm doing with what he did, the way he succeeded, and that's what I want to draw people away from. It's like listen and learn, pay attention to the things that you like, but don't try to replicate people, don't try to imitate people, don't take advice from people to and imitate what they did. Take advice, but understand that the way they did it is the way they did it, and it worked for them. But that does not necessarily mean that it will work for you. And when I'm talking about work, I mean in a way that resonates with who you truly are. You hold something within you that is completely unique, completely different than everybody else, and you have to take that primarily, right? It's about first being humble, listening, and then being attentive and discriminating, or the word would be discerning. First being humble, then being discerning, and then being intelligent. Humble in a way that allows you to take information from other people in a way that you're listening and you want to learn. And then discerning in a way that you understand that what is for you and what is not for you, what resonates with your soul, what doesn't resonate with your soul. And then intelligent in the way that you're able to synthesize all of this information in a way that serves you and the people around you. So it comes down to humbleness, discernment, and intelligence. And that will be the process for everything, every piece of information that you consume when it comes to your goals. Before you take any business advice, any life advice, any advice in general, take this in mind. First, be humble, then be discerning, then be intelligent. And these things take time, and these are skills that you need to focus on primarily over trying to get the thing. Make it your goal to constantly know how to discern things, because you can do it in a way that you're constantly doing it, even from the start. And then once that happens, give yourself the space to learn how to be intelligent with the information. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Yeah, that's it for today, alright? Thanks for tuning in. Stay lucid. Peace.